So, what do a landfill, a flood zone, a former bombing range, and major highways all have in common right now? National home builders are selling homes on or next to all of these and raking in record profits because desperate buyers have no other options. With the interest rate being high, inventory being low, affordability being challenging, national home builders are cashing in on this crisis. And I'm going to show you exactly where it's happening in Central Florida, both near Orlando and on the Space Coast. And I'm sure it's not going to take too much searching for you to find it happening in your own markets. I'm Don Harkins. Welcome to the Don Harkins Real Estate Show. We're here to help consumers, realtors, lenders, property managers navigate the complex world of real estate. We try and cut through industry myths, expose misleading tactics used by big name players, and uncover what really works and is best for consumers. We'll include real estate investing basics, negotiation and marketing tactics, pricing strategies and market analysis, property management essentials, and AI's impact on real estate, plus much more. After earning my degree from Florida State and serving as a firefighter paramedic, I was inspired by Rich Dad Poor Dad to pursue real estate. I started with investment bank-owned properties and now own two brokerages, one for traditional sales and one focused on long-term property management. I also lead the Don Harkins mortgage team, offering fast, stress-free solutions for VA, FHA, and conventional loans. So hopping in here, we're going to look at two examples that are happening right now, real time in Central Florida, and show you just how bad this crisis really is. And going to a map really quick. This is the Everby by Pulte Homes community. And you can see here there's some waterfront property, there's some residential development taking place. And when you look at the overall website, it's actually quite serene. They've got these great linear parks, they called them, beautiful resort-style amenities, pictures of people in nature and people communing. And look at this fantastic price point you've got here, $380, $990 to start. They get you the door, 1,400 square foot townhouse. You can see they've got a waterfront amenity and town center, green spaces, clubhouse complex with resort and pool. They've got a nice video here. I mean, this all looks very, very nice. And you kind of think, well, what is not to like about this? And this is right where that community is. So the first thing that stands out is the 417 right here. So you've got road noise and traffic, but look, there's a lot of communities that happen to be near an interstate or busy roadway of some kind. When you zoom out a little bit more, you've also got the 528 right here. So you have the convergence of the 528 and the 417, both right here bordering the southern and eastern side of this community. So, okay, now you're thinking, all right, maybe this is a little bit more noise. And then when you look over here, you start to see, okay, there's, obviously something else going on, and you're kind of wondering what this is. This is the Orange County landfill. So now you've got, two highways, a landfill, and then there's something else over here. If you get just a little bit closer, a power plant. So you notice, we've got a lot of industrial stuff going on, and then you don't have to go too far, and now you've got an airport. So you start to look at all these factors, and it's like, man, you got an airport, you got two highways, you have a landfill, and you've got a power plant all right next door to this brand new, extremely large community being built. And you say, well, look, you got to do something on that land. If people are willing to pay the price, so be it. Surely it can't get any worse. But then you realize World War II bomb detonations at Orlando development upsets neighbors. This is actually a former bombing range that they're building on. This is a brief history of it. The Pine Castle Jeep bombing range, U.S. government leased 12,500 acres of land to be used as a gunnery and demonstration range for testing and troop instruction methods of tactical bombing and gunfire attacks. And there's a lot of research out there on this. There's actually a pretty good map of where it is. And so, sure enough, like right here where you've got the community, this is the State Road 528. I'll try and zoom in some for you. You got State Road 528, 417. Here's the landfill. Here's the demonstration range for the Jeep, Pinecastle Jeep range. So, when you look at this combination of factors, you say, gosh, could you have found, anything worse about the land? And the answer is actually, yeah, you can. This property sits pretty squarely in a flood zone, and they're choosing to build right now in they're not choosing to build in some of the higher, drier land. They'll probably use that for the commercial and retail structures that they will build and retain for themselves. But they're going back here into the deep, low-lying sections. They're building them up to minimum standards. And by the way, this waterfront property, it's not to create nice scenes and amenities and nature trails and jogging trails. It's because they have to have some sort of drainage because they're building houses inside of a flood zone. So, you're building in a flood zone, in a floodplain, next to an airport, next to two highways, next to a landfill. By the way, we have offices on the East Coast and we have offices in downtown Orlando. So I get to drive by this community every single day. It stinks. It smells. I mean, you're going to wake up, walk outside your house and smell trash, not to mention the road noise. Oh, and by the way, yes, the airport right here. So you've got 528, 417, the airport's right here. You say, well, maybe it's not so loud. Actually, it is loud. Bad news. It's pretty loud. In fact, this is a property that just sold, and, sorry to put people's information out here, but this is public record. This is a parcel that has actually sold recently right here inside of Everbee, and I'll just come and click real time and pull up another parcel for you. So let's find a sale that's occurred. You got a listing right here. Here's a property that's sold. So let's pull that up. You look at the zoning description, airport noise zoning. So that means that it's located close enough where a lot of times they'll have to do extra work like spray foam in the attic, and builders will try and flip this as a amenity that they've done to benefit the buyers. It's like, oh, you got an energy efficient home, spray foam in the attic. Yeah, you got spray foam in the attic because you have airplanes buzzing your roof, creating tremendous noise. And not to mention, who knows what the environmental impact is of having airplanes, this real-time flight tracker here. You've got airplanes flying, over the community, crisscrossing. It's just unbelievable set of bad circumstances. And here's why this is a problem. There's a new article that just came out, and I've been saying this. If you go back and watch, I've been saying this for the last 3-4 years. This is saying it's going to take 7 years to fix the housing shortage at current construction pace. The thing is, builders are going to oversupply the market and drive their own prices down. So it's going to take longer than this. We think it's actually going to take about another 10 years before the market is properly supplied with homes. So here we are, despite if you take a very short-term look at the last 3 years, people will say, oh, inventory's up 100%, inventory's grown 50%. We're just back to pre-COVID levels today on inventory. There's not a lot of inventory at all. And so you're taking this inventory crisis, this affordability crisis. Buyers have few choices, and they have a hard time finding affordable housing. And so what do? If you're a national home builder, you go and you start building houses next to a landfill, a power plant, two highways, in a flood zone on a former bombing range next to the airport where you have planes flying overhead 24/7. I just think it's absolutely pathetic to take advantage of the current housing situation by doing this. And if you come here, let's say, the problem is, let's do a Google search for Orlando Realtor Everbee Tour. And here we have, popping up on YouTube, undoubtedly We've got agents coming out here and new homes with Liz Beth. This is going to be, I'm sure, a glowing review of how great the community is and how nice it is to live here. And look at how beautiful the homes are. And there's no shortage of videos like this. You know, you've got real estate agents promoting this because the builders are offering uh, great incentives. Now, here you've got another home tour showing all these great, beautiful homes and amenities. Look at how nice and peaceful this is. This is the problem, is that, you know, nobody is willing to tell consumers the truth. And here's what the truth is. The truth is if you buy this piece of property today, you're going to live in a smelly, noisy, arguably toxic. I don't know that, you know, there's been stories about coal ash. We don't know what airplane fumes and fuel have. We don't know the long-term 100-year impacts of living on a former bombing range. But, you know, nonetheless, this is horrible real estate in a flood zone. You're going to buy this home today, and when you go to sell it in 10 years, when the market is properly supplied, who do you think is going to want to buy this property? We talk about, it's well known, the most important three top things about real estate: location, 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 right? It's not pretty cabinets. It's not resort style amenities, which, by the way, in 10 years are going to be completely run down, look like junk. It's none of this stuff. It's not pretty planned developments. By the way, this is being developed with a community development district, which means the developer's passing the buck on to the future homeowners for the cost of infrastructure development and upkeep. But that's another, topic for down the road. The point is, any realtor who's going out there touring this community, being attracted and sucked in by higher commissions and an easy new construction deal, you're absolutely screwing your client, who's going to have to sell in 10 years and is going to be selling the absolute worst location. I think this is the worst location in all of Central Florida to own a house or buy a house. But yet you have people coming out here, doing promotional videos and selling people new construction homes here because maybe they've got a 1% lower interest rate, or maybe they're going to help with the closing costs. But the closing costs are inflated and heavily weighted on the buyer side. And of course, they're giving a lower interest rate. The home builder has a joint venture with the lender and the title company. They're all the same. They're making money off the home buyer when they sell the new, cheaply built house on the garbage land. They're making money when they originate the loan and charge you lending fees. They're making money on the title policy premium and the closing fee they're charging you. And they're doing it unapologetically and absolutely taking advantage of consumers in this market. Well, maybe this is just a one-off scenario. Maybe it's just one home builder. Maybe it's just one community. Maybe it's not widespread. Maybe it's not a tactic or a strategy that new home builders are using. Wrong. Here's another home builder, Taylor Morrison with Windward Preserve. I mean, if you Google, Windward Preserve or new Taylor Morrison Community in Cocoa, this is very highly celebrated and touted. These are going to be beautiful homes. They're going to be affordably priced. They're going to have some as low as 1,800 square feet and 3 bedrooms, 2 and 3 car garages. And they're going to tell you how fantastic the location is, with close proximity to these healthcare centers, easy access to leisure activities like Port Canaveral, the Brevard Zoo, and Kennedy Space Center, close proximity to the beach. I mean, this all sounds fantastic. And when you look at the location description, nestled in Central Brevard County, its idyllic location gives residents convenient access to I-95, 528. Well, that's a absolute understatement. Let me show you just how convenient the access is for this community. So here we've got 528 and here we've got 95. Well, yeah, this is where the community is being built, right here next to these two highways. So yeah, I would say it is a very convenient access. It's basically on top of the freaking highway. Community is just a short drive to Orlando International Airport. Plus, you'll be a short ride to the future Brightline Railroad. Yeah, also true. In fact, you even get the railroad running through the neighborhood, essentially. So the Bright Line comes down here. There's a bridge which goes over I 95, and then the rail line splits over here and crosses under 95. And you can't see it too well in this map, but yeah, you're going to have easy access to Bright Line. You're going to hear it in your living room. And it's like, okay, well, so you have train tracks right next door. So you've got two highways right next door. Could be worse. Is that all? Nope. Here's your landfill. You can't be a new home builder building affordable homes today without buying it next to a smelly landfill. So you've got that going on for you. Fortunately, is that all? It's not a bombing range, right? Fortunately, this one's not a bombing range. It is in a flood zone. So if you drive by this site right now, there's all kinds of pumps. You can see this was natural low-lying area. They'll turn this into a retention pond or a lake, and they will sell these homes that border this for a lot premium. Even though you'll be sitting inside a former flood zone, they will sell these as waterfront homes with lot premiums. And, they'll dig out other retention. Right now, they're running pumps and pumping the land dry. They're going to bring in fill and build up other areas. But make no mistake about it, this is a low-lying area, part of a floodplain. And undoubtedly, there will be drainage challenges down the road when we have big storms. So, Taylor Morrison just is guilty of going out and finding the absolute crummiest, least valuable piece of land they can find to build houses on right now when buyers have no other choice. A market like this is the only time you could sell homes on garbage real estate like this. That's why these areas are undeveloped. You have to have awful affordability, big affordability challenges for buyers to work through. You have to have low inventory that buyers have to contend with. You have to have high interest rates. You got to have all these things, low wages not keeping up, stumbling economy. All these things have to occur to be able to trick and fool a buyer and real estate agents, right? The average real estate agent, there's a statistic like 74% of realtors did not sell a home in 2024. So you go, well, who the hell would have a customer or a client and convince them or recommend them to buy a house in a community like this? Somebody that hasn't sold a home in 18 months, maybe, trying to feed their family. You have to have these horrible conditions to be able to sell a house in an area like this. And the problem is the builders are all going to make their money. They're all going to make their profit. They're going to sell out these communities over the next 2-3 years. And then when a consumer, a homeowner goes to try and sell this in 10 years, they are going to get hammered by the market. Buyers are going to avoid these areas like the plague when the market is fully supplied. And values will fall, or they will quickly hit a ceiling and never be able to rise or keep up with the rest of the market. Say, well, look, maybe it's hard for builders. Maybe builders have no other choice. They have employees. They have contractors they're trying to keep busy with work. They have a responsibility to create homes. Maybe they're struggling to make money and they have no other choice and there's no other way to make money but to buy and build on this land. Well, that's not exactly true. So you've got Pulte Group, since 2019, stock price $39 in 2019, March 2025, $105, 169% return. In 2023, 129% price growth in Pulte stock. They are absolutely raking in money with these tactics and strategies for development. Taylor Morrison, 205% growth since 2019. Unbelievable. Both of these companies are beating the S&P 500 over the same time period. Well, beating them meaningfully over the same time period. So we're, wrapping up here, just trying to bring up the point and advise people that even though homes are expensive, even though interest rates are high, even though It's taking a larger portion of your current income and your wages haven't kept up. Even though the houses that you're seeing that are in your price range that are resale have a higher interest rate and need a little bit of work and need a little bit of updating, remember that location are the top three most important factors in real estate value, and real estate appreciation. Don't be tricked and fooled by fancy brochures and promises of resort amenities and shiny new cabinets. Don't be tricked and lured into buying homes in the absolute worst locations possible right now, and then wind up having a massively underperforming asset 10 years down the road. Take the time, search out, hunt for good deals. Look for properties that have the right things wrong with them that you can fix up a little bit. Shop different lenders and get a competitive interest rate without going to a home builder. Interview different contractors and find people who will work on the weekends and nights and take side jobs and do the work for you at a lower cost. Buy a property with the right location, fix it up over time, pay it down over time, and in 10 years, reap and enjoy massive benefits from that instead of being stuck with a home that's 10 years old, now has deferred maintenance, and is sitting on some of the worst real estate available. And the last thing I'll point out is if you are shopping for a realtor, consider hiring a realtor if you're working with a realtor right now, and they've got videos and promotions online pimping these communities, promoting them, telling people how great they are. You should fire them and run like hell, because these are people who are chasing commissions and chasing easy deals instead of thinking about the long-term benefits and success of their customers and the long-term returns that their customers are going to be able to enjoy over the next 5, 10, 15, or 20 years of ownership. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, please share this video and please like and subscribe. We're at Don Harkins Realty on Instagram. You can find Don Harkins Realty on Facebook and Don Harkins Real Estate on YouTube. We also have podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So be sure to give us a subscribe on there so you can listen in the car and at the gym. And if you have any real estate needs in Central Florida, please don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day.